Is that it? All that fuss, there was no reason for me to hold back. And I never realized it would feel this good.
She's a monster.
Dragon energy is strong, okay? It brings in a strong type of mindset when it comes down to the environment. It's something that you can't hide. You guys are no longer hiding this energy. It could have been a time where you were trying to people please people in your environment, but you no longer are allowing yourself to be that people pleaser in your environment, okay? You're taking yourself out of hiding, okay? And you're embracing your wisdom, you're sharing your wisdom, and people who are going to be attracted to you, okay? Because this fish card can be very dualistic, okay? You got the moon card right here. You got the moon and the fish card as well. Some people are going to be attracted to your light, okay? And some people who are going to try to control you, they're going to repel from it, okay? Because they're not on that same pathway. They may try to talk. They may try to say, oh, well, I don't understand. But guess what? Your life's journey is not for them to understand. Your life's purpose is for your own understanding, okay? And these people are going to have to just get with it. Okay, you're no longer hiding behind any type of false narrative that someone has for you. Okay, you're no longer allowing that person to sort of speak on many different things that have no type of clarity from them in the first place. Okay, because they don't have any clarity because they're not that close to you in your life. Okay, and you guys are basically saying you're taking your power back in the situation. You're allowing yourself to really trust your own type of power moves that you're bringing to your work scenarios, bringing to your romantic life, okay? And you're looking to see, okay, these are, roles that makes the best sense for me, okay? You guys are learning by your own emotional type of well-being for yourself. You're learning from your own intuition, okay? Because the dragon has great intuition. They have great insight as far as how to go about their life. They have great insight when it comes down to who they choose to have in their environment, okay? And this fish energy could be very so much codependent on you because they're trying to get towards your life, okay? They want a piece of the pie with you because they're seeing that you're contained in your environment. Don't move for anybody in your environment that's not serving your purpose, okay? And this person sees that you're not moving for them, okay, collective? They see that you're not moving to get their type of validation. You're not trying to get their validation because you know that their way of living, you know that their way of processing information does not come from their own wisdom like you have in a situation, okay? It comes from people and their environment, okay? You're putting the light towards that environment, okay? You're seeing that, okay, it's this environment. Are these people really worth my time? And people get really uncomfortable when you start looking at them from a light perspective to see if they're worth, okay, your time and your energy to invest. They get really uncomfortable. They get really uncomfortable because they know that they're not really bringing nothing to the table. When you have someone that's not bringing nothing to the table, that's when their anxiety starts to kick in because they're like, you know what? Okay, this person has so much to offer and I don't, okay? So that's why I'm going to try to pull them into the mess, have them going, circling around and around to have this type of confusion. You guys are like, okay, I know what this behavior is, okay? I'm not going to be in this madness with this person, okay, that's using, emotional manipulation. You got the moon energy here that's reflected in the card. They're trying to get your emotions to be swayed to so many different ways, okay? And you're like, I know what this is about, okay? You guys are going to have a lot of people that's going to be uncomfortable around you because you're going to see a lot of their mess. You're going to see a lot of their chaos, okay? And you're not going to fall for it, okay? You're going to see past their appearance. People look at this type of energy, if they're not growing in their own type of personal life, if they're not really seeing their own life moves and how to navigate their own sphere, they think that this energy is like, full of wisdom and they're full of, guidance that's, that they lived and they explored. The fish energy is all about, they're good as far as going up the river, but really learning when it comes down to really going up the river through their journey, okay? The fish energy is all about, what they see right in front of them, okay? So if they just seen the tail of somebody else in their school, guess what? You're like, how can you tell me anything, okay? You guys have went through, like I said before, not only the good stuff, but also the bad stuff to really know to say, this is what I prefer. These are the personalities. These are the energies that I like to invest my time with, okay? I'm not just going to be sort of like, in this space where I'm just allowing things to just happen. I'm just allowing things to just sort of like settle in my energy and in my space, okay? You guys know from the hard times, okay, that this made you into this dragon-like energy, okay? Because with this dragon-like energy, it's all about, embracing the wisdom from the good and the bad of the situation, okay? Despite whatever they call you, okay, they can call you a monster, they can call you anything that they want to, because the major thing is they can't get away with, being complacent in your life, okay? They can't get away with, negging you in your environment because you know where it's coming from. You have that wisdom to know, okay, you know what, this person's just saying this to get attention, okay? You guys, like I said, that energy is going to really be powerful in your environment. The dragon energy is all about embracing your power. You guys are no longer apologizing for the power that you have in places that have your energy, okay? You're not apologizing in your workspace if things need to be said. You're not apologizing in your family environment if things need to be said, okay? You're walking into your calling. You're walking into your wisdom, okay, with how to address people in your environment in a very methodical and a very, direct type manner, okay? You're no longer hiding. You guys are embracing yourself. You guys are embracing not only the chaos, but you're also embracing the happiness as well. You guys are walking into your happy space, and you being happy is you understanding that, hey, you know what? Not everybody's meant for me, okay? And I'm not meant for everybody, okay? And with that energy, it's going to have people that's going to draw themselves to you, okay? That fish energy. Sometimes you got people that's going to be attracted to your light. And guess what? Other times they're going to repel and going to swim away. And that's okay. Right, guys, let's go into your tarot reading. Okay. Let's pull from the tarot deck here. So we have, let's see here. You guys playing no games. Six of Cups in reverse. You guys are very wise as far as who deserves your energy. People are attracted to the dragon energy, but they're not able to get it, okay? That's something about it because, with that wisdom, people are going to be able to say, hey, come closer, let me talk, let's see if we can work with a business endeavor. But you guys are saying, okay, you know what, let me take a step back to see if this is worth my investment, okay? Five of Wands, so you're going to have people that's going to be, trying to fight for your attention. We have, let's see, the Five of Swords in reverse. You're not going to be fooled by it. Okay, Queen of Swords. Okay, you guys are bringing in that wisdom. You got the Lovers in reverse. And every situation is not a loving environment. Okay, you're bringing in that Judgment. I'll pull a few more cards. Four of Pentacles. Okay, you guys are being stingy with your time. And that's a good thing. King of Swords, you got that area that you guys are not playing the games. You're like, I'm telling to. The dragon energy is going to say, I'm going to tell it to you direct. I'm not going to miss my words or try to pull myself down and make yourself feel bigger. You're telling it to people direct, okay? And some of them are not going to like it, but that's not your problem. Okay, I'm going to pull two more cards here. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. All right. And let's see the Devil in reverse, okay? Into this chaos, okay? So we got the Six of Cups in reverse. You guys are in this space, like I said, you're not investing in energy that does not have the highest good for you, okay? You guys are not investing your energy that does not have the highest good for you, okay? The Five of Wands, and people are going to be, upset about that. They're going to be saying wow, that's unfair. You're very selfish. You're just very in your contained bubble. But guess what? You guys are like, hey, I know through our conversations, through our interactions, it's not worth my time. Okay, you guys are not apologizing about that because they're trying to have you in this emotional chaos situation to get you to lower your guard, to sort of have you in this trickery perspective. You guys are not allowing this to happen, so you have the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, they're trying to, pull the veil down to say, oh, well, you know what, you're judging me wrong. Okay, seeing that, hey, you know what, I interacted with you before. I have, come to the conclusion, I've learned about you that, this is not really worth my investment, okay? You guys are not putting love in situations, whether it's with your family, whether it's in job-related environments, or it could be in a potential love environment too as well. You're not putting love in situations that are not meant for you, okay? If you're seeing someone that's not really understanding of their own calling, okay? How are you going to put your love in a situation, or going to put your investment in a situation where they have no clue as far as where they're going for themselves? Okay. So being strategic, and the dragon energy is all about being strategic, okay? They're not allowing things just to be chaotic. They're not allowing their emotions to sway in the situation, okay? The Queen of Swords, not only does she have emotional compassion, okay, this is energy, okay, but also the wisdom to know, okay, what serves the highest good, okay? What serves the greatest purpose in their life, okay? If you're seeing that someone is in this fish energy, okay, they're going up and down and around with people in their environment and not really having really a strong sense of self, you're cutting ties, okay? Because that's the judgment of the situation, okay? This whole season is about you being stingy with your time and stingy with your effort. Four of Pentacles here, okay, in the Judgment card. Like I said, people may say, oh, wow, you're being a monster, okay? Because they're going off of, like I said, people in their environment who have that same type of mindset that they do, okay? That's not really that really has not grown, that has not really evolved, okay? But they're trying to put you in this, this monster perspective because you're withholding your your time, you're withholding a lot of your energy, okay? You guys are very aware as far as what you bring to the table, okay? And they're trying to say anything in their power to get you to change your mind, okay? Anything to have you go into a whole nother direction, okay? But you guys are saying, okay, you know what? I'm cool with being a monster here in the situation. I'm cool with being a monster here in the situation because the monster here, this dragon energy, is all about having wisdom, okay? So if you call having wisdom being a monster, go ahead and call it, okay? Like I said, you said this conversation to them in a very practical type of way. You guys are able to put your heart on your sleeve and speak directly with this Queen of Swords, but you're also able to, cut the mess on and say, hey, you know what? I'm embracing this King of Swords here. I'm on my new beginning. You got butterflies in this card here, okay? And you're cutting things that no longer serve you, okay? You're like, hey, I told it to you sweetly, but firmly. But if I need to say, hey, you know what? I'm done here. You're cutting ties, okay? Like, you know what? Nothing's going to stop me from being in this Queen of Pentacles perspective. You're all about your investment. You guys are, like I said, working on your journey right now. And with the dragon energy, like I said, things happen in time, and you're not wasting your time being swayed with people in their emotional chaos, okay? You guys know that time is precious, and you guys are working towards your goals, and with your effort, you're not going to put all of your attention to people who are not even going to be in your space in the next 5 to 6 years, okay? You'll look back at some of these arguments if you allow them to happen and say, okay, what was I even arguing for? Because this person's not even in my life right now. Okay, and you're no longer playing that game, and you're saying, hey, if I gotta cut things off, okay, to get to my security, to get to my abundance, okay, if I gotta make the necessary moves to get to my abundance, to get to my security, guess what? I'm gonna get to my security, I'm gonna get to my abundance, and I'm gonna make sure that I cut the right things out of my life that are no longer serving me, okay? You guys are no longer gonna put yourself in this codependent energy, and you're no longer gonna put yourself in this space where you're playing yourself down to make people in your environment feel comfortable, okay? You're no longer going to let fish energy feel comfortable in your environment if they're not in a space where they're looking to grow with you, okay? If they're confused on their own pathway and they're trying to give you guidance, you're like, I'm not taking this guidance because it's into a situation where things are going to be chaotic. It's going to lead me into a situation where I'm not going to be happy. And guess what? You're not going to have yourself tied to any type of devil energy. You got the devil in reverse. You know a codependent relationship when you see it. You know a toxic interaction when you see it. And you guys are no longer falling for it.
Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant. Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant.